We got some Lions news for you folks today and a lot of positive news. Love talking positive news. We're going to give you an update on injuries, Lions odds. Dan Campbell just spoke, takeaways from his press conference. All of that. Let's go. If you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, you need to subscribe to the channel. We do a fan perspective on here, as well as former player and Herman Moore. He gives you breakdowns of who's going to win for Lions versus whoever they're playing. This channel is dedicated to the Detroit Lions and the fandom, and we got a lot to talk about in today's video. Dan Campbell just did a press conference talking about a lot of injury updates, and it's really good news for the Lions here. Emmanuel Moseley is set to make his debut on Sunday versus the Carolina Panthers. He was talking about that, and there's going to be a pitch count for him. So you're going to see him come out there and Jerry Jacobs mixing it up on that corner position, that number 2 corner position. And that's the way it probably should be, because you're having Emmanuel Moseley. I haven't played in a long time, so you don't want him to just instantly be out there the whole game, but he's going to get his feet wet, and we finally get to see him in a Lions uniform playing on the field. We signed this guy in free agency. We expect him to be a upgrade at the corner position. And guess what? He gets to make his debut. So that's really good news for him, and it's good news for the Detroit Lions defense and team as a whole, as the injuries were starting to get a little bit healthier, and that's good news. And scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you to see Emmanuel Moseley on the field for the Lions? 1 being not at all, 10 being super excited. I'm up there to 10 because we haven't seen him yet, so I want to see what he can do. Hendon, Hooker, and Julian Okwara they're eligible to come off the injury list here this week. We'll get to see if Hendon Hooker actually will be put on the 53-man roster. Didn't hear anything upon that with the Dan Campbell press conference, but he's getting closer to be able to be on that roster, and that's really good because we drafted this guy in round 3 to be a backup of the backup, and the better health you have, the better for the team. It's just the way it is. You'd like to see a healthy Jared Goff, healthy Teddy Bridgewater, and Hendon Hooker, so that's good news for the Lions here. Will he be active? No, but as long as he is getting healthy, that's the only thing that really matters. Same with Julian Okwara here. Hopefully he can come back. He is a good piece to the Lions' edge room as we're trying to get pressure on the quarterback and mixing it up. We need him to be healthy for this football team, and it looks like there is a good chance. He's getting closer to being healthy for our Lions. Dan Campbell talked about Taylor Decker, and he said he should be good to go on Sunday. So Taylor Decker is good to go for the Detroit Lions on Sunday. He re-aggravated that ankle injury. He's good to go there. Kirby Joseph, he didn't give an answer on Kirby Joseph. Didn't really know if he's going to be back. In all honesty, the way that I see this, and I think that the way that maybe the Lions staff should be, if there's any sort of nagging injuries for our starters in this game, something like a Kirby Joseph, then just go ahead and hold him out. I think that the Lions can beat the Panthers without Kirby Joseph in this game, and we got to look at the long haul for Detroit. So if he's got some sort of injury and it's still bugging him, Kirby, go ahead and rest up. We need you there for the long haul in this game. That's what it's all about, is getting this team healthy for the long haul. The Detroit Lions right now have a 90% odds to make the playoffs, and right now the Vegas is believing it, just like we all are believing it. So it's looking pretty good. The Detroit Lions, having the best shot, I think, obviously, to win the NFC North and make a playoff run. And this is how you're built, right? The ability to play good defense, run the football, and play action, and that's what we're doing. And the Lions are starting to get a little bit healthy, and that is great because we got hit with a lot of injuries early on, and that hurt our football team. So now we're getting healthy, and it's looking better. Talked about Jameson Williams. He will play on Sunday. He's going to get some reps. They're going to ease him in. Dan Campbell talked about the most important thing about Jamison Williams is knowing what route he's doing and, where he's got to be on the field. So it has nothing to do with yards. It has to do with him understanding the playbook and all of that. So they're going to ease him back in. Same with Emmanuel Mosley. I think that's the right way to go. No need to throw him instantly in there, to do all the snaps for the whole game. There's no need to do that. Ease him in, give him plays that he's familiar with, that he understands, and that's how we use him as a weapon. The Detroit Lions offense has been good, and it just got a boost with him coming back, and that's great news. Super excited to see him. Super, super excited to see him, out there for the Detroit Lions uniform and get out there against the Carolina Panthers, who is extreme underdogs in this video. So how excited are you to see Jamison Williams? 1 through 10, 1 being not excited at all, 10 being super excited. I'm at a 9 on this one. I know it's going to be a pitch count. I know he's not going to be coming out there and looking like St. Brown game 1, but to have him out there is a plus. Let's do some report cards here for the Detroit Lions after the first month of the NFL season. We'll start with quarterback play, Jared Goff. I'm giving him a B+. He's had 3 interceptions in the last 3 games. Other than that, he's been really good for the Lions, throwing strong balls. It's not weak. He's throwing some heat balls, very accurate. More accurate, I feel like, this year, and more command that he has this offense this year compared to even last year when he was even on that roll. He looks like he's in complete control of this football team. He is the captain. He is the one that runs the roost right now. So I'm going to give him a B+. If it wasn't for those picks, it would be A for sure. But I think that's a solid grade for him. Running backs here, you look at Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. You have Knight and Reynolds. So I'm going to give them I'll give a B+ here too. I think that David Montgomery has been even better than what we thought. David Montgomery is a really integral piece of this offense. With him in there, the Lions are a much better football team. And, man, it's good to see that. Jahmyr Gibbs, they're slowly getting him in. He's shown what he can do. You want to see more, but they're slowly bringing him in. When you have David Montgomery out there just knocking it down, you can do that. David Montgomery has been absolutely solid. Jahmyr Gibbs has shown flashes, and, the rest of the guys, they're just depth players, so I'm going to give that a B+. Tight ends, I'm going to give this because we have a guy named Sam Laporta. I'm giving this an A. I'm not concerned about Brock Wright or James Mitchell. We're just going to talk about Sam Laporta here. He's absolutely fantastic. Just amazing tight end. Most yards in the NFL. This guy is breaking tackles, knocking people down. He's physical. He can push the pile in the run. The guy is just one of the best tight ends in the NFL right now. I know that sounds crazy at a rookie, but he is. He's one of the best tight ends in the National Football League right now. Sam Laporta, Jared Goff on the same page. Just amazing to see that. So I got to give it an A here. Wide receivers here. I'm going to go with A-. I think Khalif Raymond's doing what we expect him. Josh Reynolds is far exceeded expectations, and that's why I'm going A here, an A- here. And we know what St. Brown can do. Marvin Jones Jr. not doing anything. We're just going to talk about those 3, and then Jamison Williams coming back. But St. Brown being St. Brown, Josh Reynolds higher than expectations, and then Khalif Raymond's doing what Khalif Raymond does. So I'm going to give that an A-. Offensive line, I'm going to give it a B right now, and it would be a lot higher by the injuries to Big V, right? You got Halapoulivaati Vaitai. He's been injured. The right tackle position in a couple of these games were getting injured. So I'm going to give it a B. Once the injuries get better, once Big V comes back, if he can come back and stay healthy, it should be an A+. But right now, the health is an issue. Defensive line, I'm going with an A- here. The second game wasn't the best, Seattle Seahawks, but man, they've been tearing that butt up all week 1, 3, and 4. They've been absolutely dominant, and every player on the defensive line, it's like you can name every player. Aiden Hutchinson, Ali McNeil, Levi Uzurike, Isaiah Buggs, who really helped out, John Kaminsky, Charles Harris, Benito Jones. Everybody is getting involved on the defensive line. It's been awesome to see. I'm giving that bad boy an A. A- there. Linebackers, we can go ahead and go with a B+. I love what I'm seeing from Derek Barnes. He's been the best. Alex Anzalone, has been really good. Jack Campbell, I want to see more of him on the field, but it's hard to do. But Rodriguez has had some good and bad moments, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a B+ right there, with the ability definitely to go to an A for sure. Secondary, I'm going to give it a B+ as well. They've done really well. You lost C.J. Gardner-Johnson, could be for the year or till the playoffs, something around there. And then you had Emmanuel Mosley, who's been out. There's been injuries to Kirby Joseph as well. But the Lions have done good. With all these injuries, they've done pretty damn good. They really have. And that's what happens when you have depth. So you got to give kudos to these guys stepping up when there's injuries. And when these guys are full strength, it should be a really damn good secondary for sure. Special teams, I'm giving it an A+. A+. Coverage has been outstanding. Making every field goal, every extra point, and Jack Fox is the GOAT. A+. That's all you can ask for from a secondary, is what they're doing. And they're doing it. Coaching, I'm giving this one A right here. Through 4 games, I thought they played excellent. In 3 of those games, they had a fall off the cliff on Seattle Seahawks against another playoff team. But when you can go into Kansas City and beat them, and you can go into Green Bay and beat them, you deserve a lot of credit for that performance. So I'm going to give them an A there. So let me know your grades in the comments below. With that said, folks, adios.